Don't listen to all the writing advice you find on the internet. Now, that may seem like a strange way to start a podcast on writing advice, but today I want to talk about some of those meme-ified bits of writing advice floating around that can be a little problematic. So, welcome and welcome back to Writing Raven Shorts. I'm Robin Shadle, author and college professor. Today, I want to poke at two of the most repeated bits of writing advice on the internet. You should always be writing, and write every day. Before you grab your torches and pitchforks, just listen. I'm not saying this advice is always bad. What I'm saying is the way it circulates online strips away the nuance that actually makes it useful. First, let's talk about writing advice online. When you're on the internet, writing advice often gets compressed into slogans. Write every day. Always be writing. These bits of advice are based on some solid ideas. You have to write to finish a project, and having a regular, sustainable writing schedule is the only way to finish that project, whether it be an essay or a novel. But they often show up in the feed as flattened memes, as quote graphics, or as half-joking posts. Seasoned writers will often repeat these lines with a wink and a bit of sarcasm, because they've already developed a sense of what works for them and what doesn't. They know the advice isn't meant to be taken literally. The problem? Sarcasm doesn't always travel well online. A newer writer who doesn't share that history, that knowledge, or those in-jokes may take this advice at face value. They hear, if you're not writing every day, you're failing. So, imagine you're early in your writing journey. You're juggling school or a job, caregiving, a chronic illness, or all of the above, and more. You see post after post declaring, with every free moment of every single day, you should be writing. Then in the same scroll, you see authors putting out 6, 7, 8 books a year. They're talking about rapid release schedules, monthly pre-orders, word count sprints. You put those two things together, and the quiet message that's easy to internalize is, if you can't keep up with this pace, you're not serious. You're not cut out for this, and you're failing. And that is a great way to cause someone to abandon a draft, not for lack of talent or lack of passion, but because they feel like they're already failing before they even have their own feet and a solid rhythm. And this is why I'm very cautious about the advice I share. I've written 16 novels, 2 master's theses, a doctoral dissertation, multiple journal articles. I've edited for fiction writers and for academic journals. I teach at a Carnegie R1 university. I've seen a wide range of processes, neurotypes, life situations, and constraints. So when I see those pithy one-line bits of advice, I can scroll past knowing how much context is missing. Circumstances matter. Brain chemistry matters. Season of life matters. Meme-ified writing advice pretends those differences don't. It pretends they don't matter, and it pretends they don't exist. It offers a single prescription and implies that if it doesn't work for you, you are the problem. My stance, and this is the stance I teach my students, you have to find what works for you. You have to find your own writing process, and you need to realize it will evolve as you write. So, Let's rescue that one bit of write usefulness from write every day. The helpful part isn't every day. It's regularity. Having a predictable, consistent writing schedule, whatever that looks like for you, will build skill, it will deepen your investment in your project, and it will keep the story alive in your mind. For some people, that does look like writing every day. Even if it's just a paragraph. For others, it looks like longer sessions, 3 to 4 times a week. The key is not, am I writing every day? The key is, do I have a rhythm I can realistically sustain that doesn't burn me out or make me hate what I'm writing? If you've been beating yourself up because you can't hit some imaginary real writer standard, consider this your permission slip to question that standard. Ask yourself what consistently looks like in your life, not in someone else's highlight reel. And if this resonated with you, stick around for the next episode where I'll talk about how my experience writing with ADHD has shaped my writing process and why I no longer write every single day. If you want to support the podcast, like, share, subscribe, and or comment. You can also buy me a coffee, or you can pick up one of my books. Until next time, happy writing!